Hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's another shitty insider with a terrible scoop.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change.
Let's talk about the future of HBO Max here. In an article by Deadline, due to the current monetary success of Wonder Woman 1984, a Wonder Woman 3 is being fast-tracked with Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins.
Andy Forssell, the executive vice president and general manager of Warner Media, said that Wonder Woman 1984 broke records and exceeded our expectations across all of our key viewing and subscriber metrics in its first 24 hours on the service. The interest and momentum we're seeing indicates it will likely continue well beyond the weekend. He also added, during these very difficult times, it was nice to give families the option of enjoying this uplifting film at home where theater viewing wasn't an option.
According to a Screen Engine survey, 23% of those viewing Wonder Woman 84 signed up for the streaming service in order to watch the superhero sequel over December 25th to the 27th weekend. Among that group, 14% said they will continue to subscribe, while 9% are likely to cancel soon.
According to that same Screen Engine, Wonder Woman 84 has already been watched more in its first week than any other 2020 streaming video on demand movie, edging out Hamilton by Disney Plus and Soul.
So what does that tell us, kids? Numbers matter, and they can be seen in real time when it comes to streaming platforms. It's not that difficult, as so many kept stating over and over again. Well, how can you prove that a movie's gonna be successful when it's on a streaming platform and those numbers can't be seen? How are you gonna get financing for future projects when those numbers can't be seen by investors? Wonder Woman 3 is being fast-tracked, my friends.
This is also despite Wonder Woman 1984 being kind of divisive amongst critics and fans as well. So obviously, a lot of the higher-ups within Warner Media are paying attention, and they know the impact this movie has already made to HBO Max.
Screen Engine's able to tell you those real-time numbers and even break it down to a possibility of who's going to stay on your platform and who's going to leave your platform after the month is over. Very important numbers when it comes to a streaming service. So what other projects out there could this happen to? This shows a very good precedent of what could happen for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So according to the same individuals that have been wrong so many times before when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League, they're saying any possibility of spin-offs, prequels, or sequels to Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't gonna happen.
Remember what these same people said about the Snyder Cut. It doesn't exist, it won't get released, it isn't that different, it won't get funding to be finished, it won't get additional photography, yada yada yada.
They can all fuck off. All of them.
So what are we talking about? An article from the New York Times talking to Walter Hamada, quite a fluff piece for DC Films and HBO Max. Also, for some reason, throughout this article, there seems to be a condescending tone towards anything Zack Snyder related in it. One paragraph talking about DC movies and the future and past of them, saying two terrifyingly expensive movies, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Justice League, both directed by Zack Snyder, were deemed almost unwatchable by critics. Ben Affleck, who played Batman in the films, wanted to move on, complicating sequel plans. At the same time, filmmakers were developing other DC movies that had nothing to do with the existing storylines, and in fact, contradicted some of them.
What kind of shit is that?
He also adds, to complicate matters further, HBO Max gave Mr. Snyder more than $70 million to, you sound jealous when you say that, Mr. Snyder more than $70 million to recut his Justice League and expand it with new footage. Mr. Snyder and Warner Brothers classed over his original vision, blah blah blah, resulting in reshoots handled by a different director, Joss Whedon. That didn't go well either. Zack Snyder's Justice League is now 4 hours long and will arrive in segments on HBO Max in March.
At least for now, Mr. Snyder is not part of the new DC Films blueprint, with studio executives describing his HBO Max project as a storytelling cul-de-sac, a street that leads to nowhere.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What about you, Rob? Are you surprised to hear that? Were you expecting to see more Snyder moving forward in the DCEU?
What's the most exciting thing that DC has going right now? The Snyder Cut of Justice League.
And I, you know, what they're doing, all the extra money that they're spending on this, the fact that they're bolstering all of these characters, I find it odd, to be honest. I think that maybe the executives at Warner Brothers might not have been so keen. If it wasn't for AT&T saying, hey, let's go do this, I don't know if Warner Brothers would have. And now it's going to be really interesting. If the Snyder Cut of Justice League, which I guess we're getting in March, is really good, well, then where's DC going to be? Where's Walter Hamada going to be?
Just out of curiosity, why would you say that? Why would one feel the need to put that out there before this thing even happens? Because what if it, fucking takes the world by storm in March and people are like, we want fucking more and shit? What, they're saying like, no, there won't be more. Because I happen to know that the ending that he's got for the Snyder Cut is very not a cul-de-sac. It takes it to a weird neighborhood, but it's not a cul-de-sac. You can keep fucking going with the story based on what I've heard from a friend. But again, like, why say that now? Like, I would hedge my bets and wait until March and the tale was told, because that way, if the audience, let the audience decide. Like, if the audience is like, we want fucking more, man, then you don't have to go back on what you said. Like, apparently it's not a cul-de-sac. Let's keep going.
A lot of people ask why. Why treat the customer this way? Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
The important part to keep in mind when you're reading this terrible article, that is a studio executive or a quote-unquote insider that's saying that his storytelling is a cul-de-sac, a street that leads nowhere. Walter Hamada said, with every movie we're looking at now, we're thinking, what is the potential Max spinoff? He also talks about, in terms of the multiverse, I don't think anyone has ever attempted this, but audiences are sophisticated enough to understand it. If we make good movies, they will go with it. Really talking about that the potential for anything is out there. As long as it makes a splash, they will entertain the idea.
So here's the thing. When it comes to comments like the cul-de-sac or the cul-de-sac, if you will, these are the same terms that we've been hearing for so long. And yet it seems to be some of the same individuals over and over again going back to this well. And whether it's a grand conspiracy or whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Either way, when it comes to certain divisions in WB, there are people that have animosity towards Zack Snyder and what he's accomplished when it comes to the Zack Snyder's Justice League. This proves that they were wrong. The fans came together, put enough pressure on a studio to rewrite years of history that they were trying to completely get rid of, that they never wanted to revisit again. And because of what he was able to pull off, they couldn't ignore those numbers any longer. But yet, through that whole time, we kept getting told it doesn't exist. It was a pipe dream. It was deaded. It was never going to happen. And now again, we have another phrase to add to that long list of bullshit that has been said over and over again.
It amazes me that these bloggers and these quote-unquote insiders are still continuing to die on this hill. No matter what happens, no matter what comes out, they are gonna stick to the same narrative. We have one individual here that I am going to mention by name, Adam the Shitman Barnhart. In 2019 says Justice League Warner Brothers has no immediate plans to release the Snyder Cut. Well, then fast forward to December 27th, 2020, Zack Snyder's Justice League sequels and spin-offs reportedly not part of the future of DC film slate. Why would we listen to you? If you were wrong in 2019, you were probably wrong before that. Why would we continue to listen to you?
Same shit, different year. So why did we bring up the Wonder Woman 1984 stuff? For a clear reason. Money talks and numbers talk. And that's what we were talking about with Zack Snyder's Justice League. They could no longer ignore the numbers that were coming from social media about people that wanted Zack Snyder's Justice League. So for individuals to have their feet in the cement so fucking hard that they don't think that there's any possibility for anything to happen further with Zack Snyder's Justice League shows how incredibly stupid you are and naive to history. How in the world can you believe that after what happened? One individual talked about it was lightning in a bottle, don't expect it to strike twice. No, the first time was lightning in the bottle, second time is common sense.
So over the New Year's holiday, hashtag restore the SnyderVerse was trending, and our favorite punchable face, Scott Mendelson, said, when you give a mouse a cookie.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
The bar has been set relatively low. As we stated earlier, Wonder Woman 1984 was a little bit divisive, yet it is still being greenlit with another sequel, Wonder Woman 3. Zack Snyder's Justice League doesn't necessarily have to do gangbusters like a lot of these insiders think, it just has to make an imprint, which we have proven that it will. That's all we need to continue to restore the SnyderVerse. Intelligent execs will look at the numbers and say, yep, let's greenlight the next one.
And that's good business.
And the truth shall set you free.
That'll conclude our little episode here, talking about all these fucking blind, deaf, and dumb insiders that continue to make a mockery of themselves.
Thank you to everyone who has continued to support our lovely channel here. We do have a Patreon and a YouTube membership if you are interested in supporting us more. We also have a store. The link will be in the description below. And if you want to check us out on social media, we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Thank you everybody for the positive notes from our most recent little docu-series. It's going to be a 5-parter. That was part 1. Part 2 is coming soon. And hopefully part 5 will be after Zack Snyder's Justice League is released. And that's what part 5 will be about. So all the stuff in between, we'll fill that out. And hopefully everybody enjoys it. It was crazy to make, and we had a lot of fun trying to put it all together.
One of my favorite videos to date of ours. Please continue to share it, like it, and love it.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.